We have an exciting discussion today with Ruth Wotela, the People Wellness Executive at Alula Technologies. We're going to be talking about the VivaScore app, which is a health and wellness application for employees, and she's going to share her experiences with introducing it in the company. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Nelson.
So, let's talk a little bit about the introduction of the VivaScore application within the company. Can you share why you decided to introduce the VivaScore app at Alula Technologies, and also how it aligns with your overall employee wellness strategy?
Thanks, Nelson. So as a company, we've always been passionate about health and wellness of people. And we know that if our people are not well, they'll not be able to show up for themselves and for others. So it's important for us as a company that we do what we can to support, our people so that they're able to, do the things they need to do, attend to our clients, take care of themselves and take care of their loved ones. We're always looking for innovative ways of, bringing insight and awareness to health and wellness, of people. And this is why, VivaScore appealed to us, because this is what VivaScore does. And what we've seen already in making use of VivaScore is how it enables individuals, to get insight into their health and wellness across various health metrics, and also empowers them, to make informed decisions and behavioral change that will contribute to their health and wellness. And, for us as a people wellness team, just making use of VivaScore has provided us with insight and, data into the health and wellness of our people across the group. And that has enabled us to tailor specific wellness initiatives that enable us to focus on specific, aspects of health and well-being that, we need to work with, as a company.
Wow, that really does sound exciting, and I can definitely hear how the VivaScore application fits in and enables you from a technology perspective to really drive employee wellness. And as we know in this day and age as well, there's an expectation from employees that employers actually, really do help them improve their lives, whether it be from a health perspective or financial. It is definitely something we pick up. Let's move a little bit about the experience and how the implementation of the application in the organization. So, how did that go? How did it go for Alula in implementing the VivaScore app? And tell us a little bit about the challenges or any surprises that you may have got in those initial phases.
I think initially it almost came across as this is another app, that people have to now, download and make use of. So we had to spend some time just, promoting and educating people in terms of why VivaScore and why we think it's important for them and for the company in general. And the best way, when it comes to VivaScore, I would say is just, getting to experience it, because until you start to use it for yourself, it'll be difficult for you to actually understand what value it brings. So we decided to roll it out and make it available for everyone. I encourage people to download the app and start experiencing the app and sharing, feedback in terms of, the insights that people were getting, the extent to which this was valuable for them, and the extent to which it enabled them to make informed decisions, in terms of specific, behaviors that they needed to change, or even, seeking professional, advice. And once people started, using this, then the feedback, started coming, and it was very positive. And I think what was amazing was individuals were getting a report every time they would do a health scan. And also on a weekly basis, they get a report which provides them progress in terms of, how they are in terms of the various health metrics, which is also, motivating for individuals, because they're able to track, basically what, how they're doing in terms of the various health metrics. And for us, as a people team, I think what was amazing was for the first time we're able to get insight on the health and wellness of our people based on data and not based on self-reported, surveys, that we sent out to our people. And that enabled us to really tailor, specific initiatives to our people. For example, if we see our people are not sleeping enough, we would highlight that, to the company and have talks around, the importance of sleep, those small nudges, and then we're able to also track that on a weekly basis when we look at the group report. So all in all, it's been a positive experience for our people. We continue to get feedback regularly, which is, amazing. And I think what's amazing is that VivaScore also sends, nudges to our people every now and again, which also encourages continuous engagement with, the app, for our people as well. So that has also worked very well. We had some challenges, in the beginning that we had to work through. As we know, health data is, sensitive information. So we needed to go through a process to really give people an opportunity to give consent to the collection, processing and use of their health data, and to assure them that, their data will be held with the most, utmost privacy and confidentiality, and that only, aggregated and anonymized data will be shared with, the group, with the company. I think that was probably the biggest thing we needed to work through. But once we went through the process of making sure we have consent from each and every person in the company that was using, VivaScore, then we're able to work with that.
Thanks, Ruth. It's interesting to to hear of that experience, and I think that initial, or that key challenge that you mentioned from a privacy perspective is one that one would expect.
Yeah.
And it seemed like there was a process, an educational process that you took the company through to get to a place of comfort. But it seems though that once getting through it, and once your people started to use and experience the application, that comfort grew. And that's really positive to see, so people in the end realizing, well, I have this tool that can enable me, to take control, monitor and improve my health, is great. And just getting over that first hurdle, just a little bit of that effort, gets him to that place. So let's talk a little bit about the impact that you may have experienced. I mean, it has been implemented for a number of months. Have you started to see change or observed any improvements in the employee health space?
We've looked at, the data from the various health metrics that we get from the VivaScore report, and try to see how that correlates to, or what's the relationship with other data we have, for example, absenteeism, or the usage of, EAP services that we have. And also, try to look at the trend across the various, health metrics to see, what does this tell us, in terms of what's happening with our people and our people's health and well-being. And I think a couple of things that we've picked up so far, I mean, it's still early stages, but a few things we've picked up is that, our people are definitely becoming more active. The more active they are, we've seen that they're sleeping more as well, because initially we could see, our people were not, getting enough sleep. And linked to that, we've also seen that the stress levels, average stress levels across the group have also started to drop a bit. And we've seen that metrics such as average blood pressure levels have also started to go down, which has also been, which was a concern, especially initially when we looked at that data. So it's nice to see the trend, going down. And we also looked at the absenteeism data in comparison to the average health score across the group. And what we can see is in months where absenteeism is high, the health score is low, and vice versa. And I think what this tells us is there's a clear relationship between, absenteeism and, the health score. So if people are well, then the health score, is higher. So I think in terms of the matrix, those are some of the things we've picked up, and we still want to analyze the trend as well, because there's many other factors, we need to consider. But I think those were the key highlights we've received. So that's from the data aspect. And then just in terms of some of the feedback, we've received, I think a very positive, an exciting thing that has happened is when people get these individual reports, like I mentioned earlier, it provides them with insight and awareness in terms of, their health and well-being across various metrics. And we've had instances where people have come to us, to say, listen, I wasn't aware of this, that I need to look at my blood pressure or whatever it is. And we're able to work with them and support them in the process of seeking professional, medical advice and assistance so that they can proactively work with that. So I think it's been amazing that using this, insight and this feedback has actually encouraged people to, take proactive action, before they are, physically, showing symptoms or unwell, but can actually start to, really work with this early detection of, potential health risks. So I think that has also been amazing.
It's interesting, to hear how it's evolved within the company, and how that adoption has led to people taking a step back and appreciating, okay, great, I have now picked up that I have something. Let me, and find comfort in saying, let me engage with people wellness and see how we can work at improving this. So taking those strides to truly driving preventative health in the business. So I mean it's really incredible to hear how that has progressed. So shifting to a little bit of the results and the benefits, and I think you've mentioned a bit of it now, but is there anything else that you'd like to highlight that you see as a benefit? I think one of the things I've heard you talk is where you sit in your role is the ability to take a step back and look at this view of the health status of your company, right? And also how the different variables have an impact or influence on that, whether it be activity or stress or whatever the case. And I think that I can hear that value coming through from how you've explained this experience to this point. But is there anything else that comes to mind that you'd like to highlight?
One thing that I think it's important to highlight is sometimes it's easy to confuse this as another EAP app that a company is implementing. But actually what we've seen is, and we also analyzed the usage of EAP services since we introduced VivaScore. And what we could see is, people are still, quite a lot of people are still making use of the EAP service that we have. And what we could see was that people use VivaScore as an app that provides them with, data and insight on those various health metrics. And then that enables individuals to actually be more specific in terms of what services or advice or support they need when they are approaching the various EAP providers that we have. So it's very much based on their decisions in terms of what they should do, what they should focus on is based on the data they get from VivaScore. So now they know exactly, okay, I need to work on my weight or whatever it is, and then they're able to make use of the EAP service providers we have to really focus on that specific aspects that they need to work with. So I think that is valuable, and for me just confirms that VivaScore actually complements the EAP services that we have in place.
Now let's shift a little bit to the future, or a view of what's to come. I think from your side now, you've had this experience to a point, and I can just imagine how with you and your role, and how you embrace technology and innovation in improving employee wellness, which is, as I said, something that you're passionate about. So considering the application and what it and the value that is brought into the company, like, give us a view of what you think. What does the future look like? How much more will it enable the people within the company, and any other views that you think we could come about with this development?
So I think we've only been using VivaScore for a few months, and I think it's definitely something we are going to continue making use of, because we've our people have received a lot of value and benefit, from making use of it, as well as us, as a company. So, for example, now we're busy with, a plan for the next few months in terms of, wellness initiatives, and we're actually using that, insight that we've been getting to inform, the decisions we're making. So for me, it's we need to continue making use of this app as much as we can. I think there's still a lot to gain. We also want to see the trends across the various metrics, some of which I've mentioned, so that we can see how we can continue to enable, and support our people further. Yeah.
Thanks, Ruth. It's been great learning about your experience and also the value that the VivaScore app has brought into the company through these initial phases. As you said, it's been running now for a few months and you've seen the adoption increase, which is great, and there's already value coming through. I do look forward to having our next conversation, perhaps in 6 months' time, where you can share a bit more about your experience. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Nelson.